Okay, I want to shift gears a little bit and ask you about a subject that I think is near and dear to your heart. Can you tell us a little bit about the Pop Culture Hero Coalition?
Yes, thank you so much. Dear is right. I founded Pop Culture Hero Coalition in 2013 with author Carrie Goldman. It is the first ever nonprofit organization to use TV, comics, and film to make a stand for real-life heroism over bullying, racism, misogyny, LGBTQI+ bullying, cyberbullying, and other forms of injustice. So we use these stories we love, which speak of heroism, to understand how we can be heroes for ourselves and for other people. We work in schools, Comic-Cons, and communities and children's hospitals, basically teaching empathy and teaching resilience and healthy identity and teaching conflict resolution. And the great thing about it is all of these stories that we love are portals to understanding how to be better humans. You know, that's why these stories are so popular. Every single one of them tells us of a hero's journey that we can emulate in our own life.
It sounds like now is a pretty good time for a little bit of that. So that sounds like sure. Okay,
well,
so
yeah, it always has been. It's just now coming to light with Black Lives Matter and the terrible, terrible resurgence of anti-Semitism. I mean, we do need this now as much as ever and more.
So for my final question, I like to put you on the spot. This is what I do in my interviews. I dig into your past and I ask you about a small role or something you did early on in your career. And for you, I have to ask my curveball question. You had an appearance as Mrs. Phillips on ER.
Good one, thank you.
What can you tell me about that experience being on ER, which, like Star Trek, is an iconic show that obviously might appeal to a different segment, but it's a famous show and you were on it.
Thank you. That was an incredible experience for me. I was working a lot during those years on stuff back to back, and I had a really high booking ratio. I had like a 70% booking ratio. So I got 7 out of the 10 jobs that I went out on. And like I said, I'm grateful it was working. And that was an audition I almost turned down because I didn't want to impact my booking ratio. And I went ahead. Say it again?
You thought you might not get it, so you didn't want to lower your average?
Pretty much, yeah. I just didn't think I was the type to be a Midwest housewife. And it turned out that this Midwest housewife was the first ever, this storyline was the first ever time that a child died during prime time. So it ended up being a very historical episode, very heavy episode. But I didn't know at the time, what none of us knew, was that this episode ended up being watched by a bigger audience than any episodic show ever in history.
And you were part of it.
And I was one of the guest stars. Yeah. Awesome. And I was so blown away by that. We never could have guessed that. This is, if you guys don't remember, this is the one where George Clooney rescues the child out of the drainage ditch.
Yeah, it's a famous episode.
Very famous episode. And you think that child may die and that our child is going to live. But what happened was basically the opposite. Spoiler alert from a show that came out years ago. Yeah. Yeah. But having been on this episode, which was watched by more people than any other show in history, except for, I think, oddly, The Cosby Show, but that was a half hour, so it's different. More than any other episodic show was a huge honor. And then on top of that, this was the episode of ER that they put forth to all the Emmy voters for the Emmy nomination that year. And this won ER the Emmy nomination and the Emmy that year. So, and they showed my scene on the Emmys, which was such an incredible honor. I never ever could have guessed anything like that would happen. So I think the lesson here is somewhat similar to what I just said with the coalition. We can all do things or be part of things that are greater than our wildest imagination. And we have more power than we'll ever know until we get out there and either create opportunities or accept them and keep on working toward our goals. And with the coalition, my goal is to create justice. And I'm really happy to know that lesson in real life, that you can do things you never thought you'd be able to. So I want to leave our audience with that. And if you'd like to look up the coalition, we are at Superhero IRL on social media, and our web address is popculturehero.org. One more thing, we have psychologists that create our programs, and we created a special mental health at home set of emotional coping tools for COVID-19.
Also very timely.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, these coping tools are interactive, so you can download them for free on our website. And they include things like resilience is my superpower, and when social distancing becomes social isolation, which we all know we need to be able to cope with, and managing family conflict, which is not easy during this cooped up time. So these are all available on our website. And you can click on the red banner at the top, free of charge, and we're really proud to be able to be helping people during this rough time.
Well, I want to thank you both for your work with the Pop Culture Hero Coalition. Now more than ever, people need help being stuck in what is kind of the worst time of their lives with COVID and being stuck indoors. And another recipe for helping people out is laughter. And they have the opportunity this weekend to watch Unbelievable with 5 exclamation points. And that's on August 1st. You can check out the red carpet and the panels so you can laugh as well, and hopefully get some good times out of the bad. But I do want to thank you again for taking the time. I've really enjoyed speaking with you, and hopefully you'll be willing to let me interview you again for your next project.
You are wonderful. Thank you so much. And I'll be posting more at Chase Masterson on social media. So I hope I see you guys there. And yeah, we'll see you guys for the next one. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Live long and prosper.